It's the top mistakes when filling out the letters for probate in California. We'll get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in all of California. I'm Brendan Mohr, Realtor, C.A.R Masters Club Life member, and certified probate trust specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And hey, I'm Bill Heyman. I am a licensed California professional fiduciary. I'm also a licensed California real estate broker, as well as I am a registered and bonded California legal document assistant specializing in probate and trust work.
Like and subscribe right now. Have a house to sell and looking to avoid the cost and headache of probate, trust administration, or even the petition to determine succession? Those services are included in our real estate listing package with no upfront fee, and sometimes no fee at all. We've helped families across California save thousands in costs and fees, and we may be able to do the same for you. Our contact info is in the About section. Please don't wait. Let's talk today. So it's the top mistakes when filling out the letters for probate in California. You know, the first time I heard that term, Bill, the letters, it's a document called the letters. I thought it was like, what is that? It just confused me in my head. Like, what are we talking about? Like, am I writing a little letter to my grandma?
Yeah, that's most people think that when they first hear it.
That is what they're called.
That is it.
Now, even experienced administrators and yes, even attorneys can flub this crucial document, the letters for probate. One small mistake can lead to a delay for the entire case or block you from selling the property, collecting assets, or handling the estate at all. I've seen this several times where I've had to send it back to an attorney's office saying, you missed a box. And this has been more than once. You're dealing with one right now. So Bill, get into some of these things, these top mistakes, because you've probated thousands of estates and seen this document so many times. Yeah, what are some common mistakes?
Well, one of them is the wrong case number. It's not an ultra crucial mistake because often what will happen is if you have the wrong case number on there and you send it into the court to be filed, they won't file it. They'll reject it and send it back. And sometimes they won't tell you why. They won't say that it's incorrect case number. They'll just send it back and say it's not correct. And then you got to go through, you or the attorney have to go through it, figure out where the problem is. But yeah, the wrong case number, that can cause delays, especially if you need your letters right away. You've got a situation. So yeah, always check and double check the case number. That is important. And the other thing is sometimes what'll happen is there'll be a typographical or a misspelling of the decedent's name on the letters. Now, that may sound like it's no big deal, but if you're trying to sell a probate home and title company has to have a certified copy of those letters and everything has to match up. If the name on the letters doesn't match up with the name on official title of the real estate, that's a problem. And then you got to go back to court and you have to get amended letters, which takes time. And if you're in the middle of trying to close escrow, it's going to cause delays for sure. And I will tell you this, fortunately, I haven't done it, but I have seen cases where it's been just a very minuscule typo, like an A instead of an E in a name, and the clerk didn't catch it. So they filed it and it went through, and then they went to title and title caught it. Problem. It's going to cause a delay in closing escrow. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're spelling the decedent's name right.
Double, triple check that kind of stuff,
Absolutely.
Right? Sometimes it's an and with no E, sometimes it's an and with an E.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And there's some other ones on here too. I don't know if you want to get into the next one, Brendan?
Well, using the wrong title, because really the longer version of saying the letters would be the letters of administration or the letters testamentary. There's a difference between those two terms. So if there's a will and it's letters testamentary, well, it's not an administrator, it's an executor. And vice versa, if there's no will and it's letters of administration, it's not an executor. And I often will actually have personal representatives tell me they're the executor. Well, I look at the letters and it says you're the administrator. Well, that's the title I have to use. It's semantics in a sense, but you have to have that checked correctly. And if that's a mistake, then that could cause a delay.
Yeah. The next one that happens, in fact, I'm working with one right now, is not having checked the correct box as to whether you have full authority or limited authority. Now, oftentimes, if you try to file the letters with the incorrect box checked, again, the court will usually catch it, reject it, and send it back, and it's going to cause delays. Again, if you're trying to close escrow, that's a problem. I'm working with a case right now where I'm coming in the middle of the case trying to fix some things, and the attorney who started this case didn't check any box, full authority or limited authority. So we're having to go back and make some corrections, and this happens to be a probate sale that has gone into foreclosure, so we're trying to get this thing done. But yeah, make sure you check the right box, full or limited authority. Just double check that.
It happens more often than you would think. And I've had it where I'm working with an attorney, not when I'm not working with Bill, and they send me the letters and I see there's no box checked. And really it's whoever filled out the letters. It's not the court that filled out the letters. It's
Right.
that law office and probably a paralegal.
Yeah, it's probably not the attorney, it's their paralegal that blew it.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they were thinking, this might be an indication of that they don't know probate, that the court decides if it's full or limited authority, so they leave it blank, and that's for the court to fill out, but it's not.
Yeah.
And I've had these come to me and no authority. So that can cause a delay. You have to send it back to the court. You have to, what is the process for that, for changing that?
Well, believe it or not, there's two ways you can do it, and it depends on how the problem got started. But one way is you can file just a quick ex parte application for an amended letters of testamentary or letters of administration. The other way, which you can use if it was the court's mistake, and sometimes it is the court's mistake, you can go back and do this process called, and I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, but it's called nunc pro tunc, which means it should have been this way instead of this way. And it's a faster way of getting something done. But normally you can only, I believe, use that process if it's the court's mistake. So more than likely, you're going to have to use an ex parte process and ask for an amended order, especially if it's your mistake.
Yeah, it's funny when I've seen that and I send it back to the law office, and I'm just the realtor, and I always preface it with like, oh, I think the court made a mistake, when I really know there was a law office that made a mistake in that case. But I'm just being nice, because they're like, we're the legal people, you're just the realtor. But that's the importance of using a realtor who knows probate, because a lot of realtors wouldn't have noticed that. You could be well into the sale, you could be at the closing, and a title company saying, oh, hey, I just got the copy of the letters here. Your personal representative has no authority. He just probably lost the sale.
Yeah, and I can almost guarantee you that 99% of all the realtors out there would never catch a mistake like that.
No.
Brendan will catch it because he knows probate, and he's one of the best probate real estate realtors there is. But I can tell you right now, almost no realtors will ever catch that.
Yeah. So what's another one here? Maybe forgetting to sign the letters.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. That's another mistake, though, that, again, if you try to submit a document to the court and it doesn't have a signature on it, they'll reject it and send it back. Again, they may not tell you what is wrong, but hopefully yourself, if you're pro per, your legal document assistant, or your attorney will look at it and say, oh yeah, I forgot to sign it. But again, if you're at the point where you need to close escrow, you're talking delays, and that just causes tremendous problems. So yeah, always double check and make sure the signatures are there before they're submitted and filed with the court.
How about not submitting the original letters for certification?
Well, that is what you have to do is title, when you're going to close a real estate sale, they need a certified copy of the letters. So the letters have to be perfect. Right case number, right boxes checked, signature, all that's got to be perfect as filed. But then you got to make sure that you get certified copies to title so they can close. And a certified copy from the court is nothing more than a photocopy of the letters that have been filed that the court makes. And then they add an additional seal on the right lower corner, which makes it an official certified copy. And then the title company can record that ahead of the deed and escrow close. There's one thing, though, about that. Occasionally, when the court stamps that seal, It's not completely photographically reproducible, and sometimes you will get a clerk recorder at the county that will reject it because of that. So another thing that you want to be sure to check, and again, this is something where having the right realtor, when that certified copy of the letters is being delivered to the title company, you have your realtor who knows probate will check and make sure that that seal is legible and reproducible photographically so that there's no delay in closing. Because if it's not, back to the court, order another certified copy, back to title. And again, you just got delays in closing escrow, which can cause all kinds of problems.
I've actually gone to courthouses to get a certified copy myself as a realtor. You probably won't really ever find any realtors that will do that.
No.
But I've sat there and you told me what to do. You know, the very first time they stamped it, and I stand there at the clerk's desk, and I'm looking at this thing, and she's looking at me, and I'm just looking down, and she's like, "Does it look good?" I'm like, "It looks good." She knew what I was doing.
Right.
I think that she knew what I was doing.
The clerks do. Most of them know that stamp needs to be clear. If you get someone who just got hired on as a clerk there, they might not know that. So
Someone on their lunch break, something like that.
yeah,
It can happen.
so, but that's a very good example as to why you want someone who is an experienced probate realtor, because Brendan knows to look for that. Most other realtors, in fact, I would be willing to bet pretty much all of them would never know to look for that, ever.
Now, we have one last one here. Want to get into that one?
Yeah, sometimes what happens is when you go to submit the order and the letters to the court, they're not consistent with what was in the petition. So for example, in the initial petition, when you filed it to start probate, you said that you were asking for full authority and there was no will. Well, then you're asking for letters of administration. You got to make sure that when you submit the letters to the court, that matches with what the petition said. Because if it doesn't, you're not going to get your letters. It's not going to happen. So again, you need to make sure that it all matches up. Everything's what you asked for in the petition is what you got in the order and then got in the letters. Very, very important. Very important.
One of the most important documents in probate, and very, very crucial in the sale of probate. It's what gives you the authority to manage that estate.
Yep.
You are essentially the seller because of that document.
Yeah.
So just remember, it's a very important one to get correct, and then you can move forward with the sale of the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching. Please drop us a follow, like this video. We'll see you on the next video.